Welcome to this live stream. I'm just going to wait till more people join. I'm going to start talking when we're around 20. Okay. You can already post all your questions, everything that you want to ask, anything that you're curious about. Just post it. I'll do my best to answer that as fast as I can. Yeah, totally. Hey, boss, what's up? How's it going? How's it going? How the fuck's it going? Yeah. World War III just started. I don't know if you heard about it. Russia started attacking Ukraine, and explosions were heard in the capital of Ukraine. So now NATO is going to get involved. That means Russia is going to be at war with all of NATO. Right? And who knows where that's going to lead. Yeah. Definitely not good. Definitely not good. Mhm. Feel bad for Ukrainian people. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Like I said, I'm just waiting for 20 people to be here, and then we can start talking. You can already ask your questions. Remember, guys, we want to talk about psychic protection or psychic self-defense for the most part, right? Because that's the seminar coming up. So I want to answer your questions about that. How do you release the internal blocks in the ritual, like if you want to manifest something? Exactly the opposite happens in your dreams. Uh, Okay, 7 people. All right. How do you release the internal blocks in the ritual? Like if you want to manifest something and exactly the opposite happens in your dreams? Bro, I don't even know what you're saying here. How do you release the blocks of the ritual? The opposite happens in your dreams. Like, I guess I know what you're saying. Fuck. It's very simple. Okay. It is very, very simple. You just focus until there's no longer an internal resistance to the outcome. That's it. That's it. And that might take a while. That takes a time. That takes some minutes to get over yourself, right? But that's what it is. It's not comfortable, but you're gonna have to do it. Um, I missed your Zoom lecture the other day. I was so pissed. But Frank, what would be your tips on clearing your energy? Clearing your energy. The usual things, taking a bath in salt water, using incense, using essential oils, things like that. A banishing ritual, that could help. When you create a sigil, then dream about the event or person you want to affect. Is that a good sign? The intention is in my subconscious. Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. Hey, Frank, what's up? Would you recommend I get more people to sign a petition? Petition for what? Petition for what, bro? What do you mean? Petition for what? A petition for what? We need a topic. We need a topic here. Petition for what? Yeah. Look, I got a suspicion when it comes to magic in general. I think People don't do anything they can to attain this knowledge about magic because they don't think that their problems could be solved by it. I tell you what. Um, when you practice magic and you can do real shit with it, most of your problems in life will disappear, and they will. It's not that you're not going to have problems, but you're going to play life at a different level, and then the universe is going to challenge you at a different level as well, of course. But you're at least not going to deal with all this bullshit anymore. Okay, so you need to start taking this stuff serious. You need to practice your magic every single day. I'm seeing people are doing rituals. That's good, but don't overcomplicate it. Do your rituals every day, every day, every day. I've laid out the process a million times. The process is always the same. You're always going to encounter some internal resistance. You're always going to encounter some problem, but the sequence is always the same. It's actually very, very simple. The manifestation process is super easy. It's insane how easy that is. Okay, so um, with the stuff that I put out there for free, you should be able to completely transform your life. Should that over, yeah. And the stuff is totally for free. Everything that I put out there is completely for free. But apparently, some people need it complicated. They just want to have it complicated. They just want to have it complicated. They can't accept that it can be so simple. Simple, not easy, but with practice, anybody can do that. You see. So I'm telling you, sometimes it gets tiring because people just don't want to listen. You tell them the same thing over and over and over and over again. They still don't do it. That's a problem, man. That's a problem. Um, Adrian, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Do you recommend I get more people to sign a petition about sports wagering? I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, dude. Um, man, really. Do spirits, when they don't like you, are low vibrational? Do they try to control your thoughts? I had a lower vibrational spirit. Notice it because my thoughts were angry. It reminded me of the past when I'm. Initially, rituals are difficult because you need to fight something that you believe in against something that you don't want. Yeah. Will your plan 2022 seminars be roughly the same price? Just trying to plan my budget. Yeah, they will probably roughly be the same price. Listen, if you sign up for all of them, you can get I mean, what's the word? If you sign up for multiple of those seminars, you will get a discount too. Okay, we can talk about all of that. So if you can't pay it at once, we can come up with a payment. If you gotta, do what it takes to get to be on there because they're not coming back next year. I'm probably not going to be available anymore. Not for seminars, not for nothing, not for nothing. I'm going to be gone, vanished. All right. What's your opinion on clearing bad karma? There are ways to do that. There are definitely ways to do that. You can clear your karma uh, in multiple ways. I mean, you can work with specific entities. One of them is Fudomyo, for instance. You can, but the most important thing is that you need to um, change your current behavior and your current actions. Thoughts and words lead to actions. So if you're capable of changing your current thinking and do it in a different pattern than you've done it before, you will actually be able to change your karma, because karma is essentially just cause and effect. You're right now experiencing not the backlash, the feedback of some energy that you put out in the past. Okay, so when you got to always be careful about the energy that you put out in every moment. What is the energy that I'm putting out? What is the energy that I'm putting out? Not just in some vague mental way, but like, what am I doing right now? What am I focusing on? And that's going to determine the feedback that you get in the future. You know, you're right now creating your future, right? I mean, so that's really so mundane, but at the same time, it's so powerful because that gives every moment purpose. There's nothing random. People that get bored, I don't understand it. Like, I experience boredom. I have experienced boredom, obviously. All right. But once you realize that in every moment you are a creator of your future, and it's literally you're sending packages of energy into the future, and it's going to come back to you in a feedback loop. Every moment is becomes valuable. Every moment becomes an investment. Any of your actions become an investment. See it as like bank accounts that where you can deposit energy. So what are the things that you want to feed in your life? And you do actions that feed that area of your life. You know, it's life is really simple, man. If you break it down like this, life is so simple. It's just overcomplicated by things that we're not even supposed to pay attention to, man. I tell you what, one of the most important things in this life, especially in the society that we live in with this information overflow, the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is to know how to turn off the noise. How to turn off the noise. So, do you limit your information inflow? Do you 24/7 just watch video after video after video, song after song after song after song? That's a bad way to live your life. You need to limit that. You need to limit that information intake. All right. Important part. As a student, in your opinion, should I prioritize my occult education training over my main schooling, or should I try to find a balance if that balance means far less occult training? My friend, I don't know what your goal is in life, but if you have the goal of, like, I don't know what your goal is, friends. See, this is like a general question that I can't answer unless I know what you want, where you are, and where you want to go. You see, I really can't answer that. It's an individual answer that requires individual question. It's an individual question that requires an individual answer. But I'm going to try to answer it. As a student, in your opinion, let's say you're okay. What is your what do you want out of life? What do you want out of life? If you want to live a secure life that is predictable and basically sets you on a path of mediocrity, then completely overemphasize your formal education, which is not education. You're getting indoctrinated into a system. You're not getting you're not getting educated. The education system, and no matter what level you're at, okay, college, fucking Ivy League, they're all indoctrinating, not into an ideology, even though that might be part of it, but um, you're being trained to function within an existing machine. You see what I mean? Um, Even if you were to go, if you study business in school, you're not gonna learn how to build a business or even run a business. You're gonna learn how to become like a high level executive or something like that. Not even high level, middle management, middle management. So you learn how to function well within an existing machine. Okay, that's not education. You're not being educated. You're being trained with skills that serve somebody else. Okay, which can be positive or negative. Has nothing to do with true education. You don't learn how to think for yourself. Some of the most indoctrinated, some of the most um, some of the most closed-minded people are highly educated. Okay, I don't have a problem with education. Okay, but a lot of those people, they they're indoctrinated instead of being educated. Actually, most of the people. So if you want a life of mediocrity where you make, I don't know, you can definitely make good money, but you're not going to get rich using that path. Okay, you're not going to get rich using that path that you just described. So you said my goals are prominence and wealth. Prominence and wealth, really. You really want to become famous? Prominence? Okay. There are diminishing returns to that. Okay, but if that's your goal, fuck no, school is not for you. Wealth, school's probably not for you either. You're not going to become wealthy by going to school, man. Get out of here. You know, what are the classical careers that people perceive as successful and wealthy? Doctors. You kidding me? Doctors work themselves to death, and what do they take home? A couple hundred grand. That is so stupid, man. No, man. The only way to really make money from scratch, unless you inherit that, unless you got family or something like that, family giving you money, or yeah, and you not being a professional athlete or rapper or something like that. Business, you got to build a business, create a business, be your own. But just so you know, most business owners don't make money either. Okay, I think 80% of all businesses don't even make a million in profit. Okay, just having your business. I mean, nowadays people are like, I have my own business. I have a, what's that? What are people doing? Uh, I don't know. They're doing gigs on Fiverr or something like that. I have my business. There's a difference between business and self-employed too. Okay, so learn these things. So to wrap it up, my answer is: if you want to become wealthy and prominence and all that stuff, no, the system, education system, is not going to be helpful. I'm not taking responsibility for your actions though, so you make your own decision. Okay, because there's a chance that you're going to make it in business, but the chance is very, very small. It's like 4%. You got a 4% chance of making it, which means 96%. In 96% of the cases, you're going to fail on that path. Just so you know, if you want to be successful in your business and you want to create a successful business, it's going to take everything that you have for years. Just so you know, heads up. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be, this is how most people imagine it. It's basically, oh, I get up, I have my coffee, and I just walk in, I buy this little place or rent it out, and people are just going to come in and they're going to buy my products. Or nowadays, and when it comes to online stuff, they just think they put up a website, and people are just going to grab it because they put up the website, or like, I don't know. It's not that easy. It's going to take everything that you have, okay? And you're going to have to sacrifice years of your life. Years of your life. Work, 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 work. There's nothing else. There's work. There's work. There's learning. Lack of sleep. Long nights. And then you have a chance. You have a chance to become successful. That's also why it's very hard to do that when you get older. Okay? The older you get, the harder it gets. If I had to start over now, I don't know if I would be able to do it. I'm telling you. I'm 37 years old now. I don't know if I would be able to build a business once again, with all the time that it takes, all the effort, all this. You can do that when you're young and you don't have responsibilities. You know, uh, no bills. You know, no bills. Yeah, then you can do it, but you got to sacrifice a lot. Sacrifice a lot. You got to sacrifice friendships. You got to sacrifice time that you spend with people. There's no work-life balance. Forget about that shit. Okay, that's forget about that work-life balance. Horse shit. Hi Frank, is voodoo black magic? No, voodoo is a religion. Voodoo is a religion. So, and voodoo is a very, very specific tradition. It's not, look, generally speaking, especially if you're not even, don't even get me started. Because even people of African descent sometimes are so fucking ignorant about African culture and the continent in general. You know, well, I wouldn't say Africans in general. I live in Europe, so people here are actually like from Africa, but like a lot of African Americans are very, very ignorant about African culture, which is kind of sad, because it's kind of like where you guys are from. You should know that. So, um, just first of all, let me say that, okay? Most people see something that is done in some sort of an African context, they call it voodoo. Voodoo is one specific religion. It's a religion first and foremost, okay? It's an entire cosmology with different entities, spirits, and stuff, and so on and so forth. Okay, it has its origin in Western Africa. Okay, so somewhere around voodoo specifically originated somewhere in Gambia, somewhere around there, right? Then you got other traditions. You got traditions that originated in Nigeria, okay, and those traditions then turn into something like Santeria. Then you got uh, branches in other cultures, other countries. Okay, you got different, let's say, Congo-based stuff that turned into Palomayombe later on. Um, you know, then in different parts of the continent, you got some Christian mystery schools. Did you know that there are countries in Africa that were Christian before any other before Europe adopted Christianity? Then obviously you got the Egyptian stuff. Then you got so many different things there. So that just right out of the gate, it's just because black people do it, it's not voodoo. Okay, that's the and the most that people know about this stuff in terms of education is usually that they saw a video that EA Koetting put up about Haitian voodoo. Okay, and that's their entire education about this whole topic, man. It's really annoying sometimes. Okay, so is voodoo black magic, bro? Voodoo is a religion. It has aspects that are healing for the most part. Yeah, most work that is done in voodoo, and Palomayombe, Santeria, and all that stuff is for healing for the most part. It's cleansing, healing, creating balance. Okay, and a small part of it, yeah, deals with destructive energies. Absolutely, absolutely. But when you look at it with a colonial mindset, it's basically, oh my God, what is that? It's dangerous. What are they doing there? And I really can't stand that, to be honest, because people look at it with this lens of, I don't know. It's exotic, so it's kind of weird, it's strange, and it's everything gets projected into it. Everything is projected onto it. Projection in terms of good or bad. Okay, so people call it either complete savagery, or others call it, like, others, like, it's never looked at as a legit spiritual system. It's always something weird, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. You see. So no, voodoo is not black magic. Voodoo is a religion, first and foremost. It's a religion. Okay. Yeah. So retarded, man. Seriously. Um, it's really annoying. I mean, even people that are initiated into voodoo. Okay, like people here in uh, let's say Germans or something like that. Not just like white people. Okay, they're initiated in voodoo, right? And then they start talking to me about it, and then they talk to me as if that's like my ancestry, bro. Like, that's not my ancestry. Just because I'm black, that has nothing to do with me. Okay, do you know how diverse that continent is? Okay, my ancestry is somewhere completely different than the ancestry of that. It's fucking ignorance, you know. It's fucking annoying. It's like I'm go to a Polish guy and talk to him about French history. It's like, oh, your people, your culture, bro. They are not my people. Okay, it's so dumb. All right, let's see. What's this? Okay, like what do you recommend? How long should we be on the phone, especially if you have an off day from work? Bro, I'm not your babysitter. Okay, you create your own schedule. You create your own schedule. Once again, you want cookie cutter answers, but I can't give you cookie cutter answers because your life is individual. Guys, start thinking for yourself. Like seriously, you have specific goals, you have specific things to do, you have specific tasks. How the fuck am I going to tell you how long you should be there? All I'm saying is I would recommend that you limit your information intake because it's too much to process at one point, you see. Common sense. All right. Is Hollywood into black magic as well? So my question would be, what does that answer do for you? What if I tell you yes? Is that going to change anything about your life? What's that going to do for you? You have the opportunity to actually learn things about magic, about things that help your practice. I recommend you take advantage of it. I'm not going to entertain shit. Why the fuck would I care if they're obviously they are, but what does that change? It doesn't change anything. You see? What do you think of brick and mortar type industrial businesses in these times where many people focus on internet opportunities? It depends on how much startup capital you have. There are certain industries that are brick and mortar businesses that are always going to be profitable. Okay, but you got to look at the current situation. So let's say bars, for instance, bars. You don't know how long they're going to do that Corona shit. Okay, so that might go on for the next couple of years. Do you want to get into something like that? Likely not, right? Um, how much startup capital do you have? If you don't have any capital to start, obviously the internet has the lowest barrier of entry. So yeah, the internet is probably the best way to start a business at that point. So it's really about that. Brick and mortar. If you have First of all, everything that can go online will go online. Any service that can be provided, anything that can be digitized is going to become digitized. There are certain things that will never be digitized, certain things that will never be provided online, such as restaurants, for instance. That's why what things are transforming into is basically um, even malls are disappearing. Shopping malls are disappearing. They will disappear very soon because look, the pandemics are not going to become less. They're actually going to become more. I mean, I read this book the other day where somebody projected since we got a whole lot of people on this planet and people are living closer and closer together, pandemics and stuff like that, that's only going to accelerate and increase. So for the future decades, they actually project that there's going to be less and less opportunities for people to mingle. So shopping malls are a dying business thing. I mean, they're dying off. Malls are going to be closed down more and more and more and more. They're not going to be the place that people go to. Everything that we're doing in terms of free time and hobbies and stuff like that is gonna become digitized. It's gonna happen in the metaverse for the most part, or in some way or another, it's gonna happen online. Okay, in some way or another, it's gonna happen online for sure. So you got to find a way. My recommendation would be, if you really want to do something interesting, find a way to provide a platform in the metaverse in some way or another. Okay, platforms are are definitely the future. Platforms, platform businesses. Okay, platform businesses. Um, what is a platform business? It's see when you look at platforms, what they're doing is they're providing the connectivity for a core transaction. Okay, the connectivity for a core transaction means the following: Uber creates an app, which is the platform where people can provide or offer rides, and people can request rides, and then there's a core transaction, which is drive money. Okay, and this is the future. This is the future of business in the future. It really is. Okay, so how could you apply that to Magic, for instance? Well, um, at one point, the forum is going to turn into a platform where people can offer readings and people can request readings. Okay, that could be something. I'm not even sure if I want to do that because I'm going to be busy doing other things, right? But the point is, this would be a great platform. Okay, if anybody wants to build that, go ahead, create it. Create a platform where people can offer readings and spells and stuff like that. Everybody throughout the entire world. Okay, there are many people out there who want to do that and want to make an extra 200, 300, 1,000 a month or something like that, and they can do that. And you give them access to that. They pay you only for the transaction. You get a percentage of the transaction. They don't even pay you a monthly retainer. And yeah, that could be a great business. So if you can create that as a startup, that would be great. But in terms of brick and mortar stuff, I don't know. I think everything's going online. It has to. It has to. How can you compete? How can you compete with something that has much fewer costs? I mean, fixed costs. Even variable costs are going to be reduced by um, going online. Let's see. Ask me about platforms if you want to know more about that. Platform businesses, how to create your platform business. I know quite a bit about that. If you're interested, whenever we saw a cartoon or a Hollywood movie, there were always symbols behind characters. How did they use that towards affecting subconscious of the masses? How did they use that towards affect? How do they use that to affect the subconscious of the masses? Well, I mean, the bottom line is the agenda has always been the same. Okay, this is not new. It's always been like that. And this is it's essentially a seen humans or seen humanity in unequal terms, if that makes sense. Okay, so believing that by virtue of you being initiated into secret knowledge, you are superior to everybody else, and that entitles you to a certain uh, privilege, and based on that, you're allowed to now oppress other people. Okay, so that's been the agenda. So what do? You use that in order to keep people in line, to make them act in a certain way that you want. I mean, the controllers of this planet are not that many people. Okay, very few people. But look at what they do. They control billions of people. How? Well, mass mind control, for instance. Mass mind control means you keep people in line. If you want people to go to war, for instance, okay? You want people to go to war. How does that happen? You first dehumanize the enemy. So you use Hollywood to whatever portray the other side as savages. You create um, stereotypes. In case of the U.S., you got an internal, what's the word? You got an oligarchy that runs the United States, owns the United States. As a, it's owned by very few people. Now, how do you control the masses? Well, first of all, you got to divide them. Okay, in the U.S., since it's a diverse country, you can divide people by race, for instance. Okay, so you make them fight over race and things like that. Okay, um, you let's look at what happened with the deindustrialization, for instance, on the East Coast, in cities like Detroit and others, right? I mean, urban centers, for instance, urban centers in the United States. Uh, no jobs. Okay, so a lot of guys, a lot of men, working class people, unemployed. They don't make any money for the state. You can't tax them. So what do? You create laws that are incredibly draconian and you lock them up. And in the private prison system, they're worth 60,000 a year or something like that. I don't know. A lot of that's better than nothing. Plus, you can have them work for free. Okay, you eat them. You what's the word? You feed them shit food, which costs almost nothing. And you work them for 22 cents an hour. Okay, and that's how you create a system where did you know how many people have life get life without even really offending? Okay, I mean, you just got to be. I think you just got to be arrested a couple of times. Okay, so of course, I mean, you offend a couple of times, right? But once you're registered as an offender, you just got to be arrested or very very minor offenses, and you can get life. Of course, and you get crazy sentences because that's money for the state. So there are all kinds of different ways, and then you spread, I don't know, and then you justified it in somewhere or another. You justify that, oh yeah, there's a lot of crime, people are just criminals there, blah blah blah, and then you create a culture where basically hip hop, for instance, okay, hip hop was a political movement. Okay, these were really smart people, or maybe not just maybe just smart people, but people trying to make a change, people trying to improve things, right? People trying to conscious rap. Okay, but what do you do at that point? Well, you you push gangster rap. Okay, all this, you push gangster rap and create a culture where people are influenced by that, and you understand how subliminal music is. Okay, so you push music and finance artists that talk about killing people all the time. They talk about killing people. They talk about robbing people. They talk about dealing drugs. Blah blah blah. And that's how you create a culture where that's cool. Okay, and little kids don't understand that shit. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand that. And before you know it, they're young kids and they offend. Of course, they listen to they listen to the stuff, and then they follow the subliminal suggestions, and they become offenders. And then the system gets new people to feed on. Okay, and many many other things. So basically, that's what they're doing. All right, and in many other ways too. All right, you control the population by keeping it weak, keeping it misinformed. You keep it um, focused on the wrong things. You feed them shit food. Okay, big pharma is in the boat with everybody else. You keep them sick. Do you think the food industry is not on a boat with big pharma? First, you make them eat shit food so that they can become sick, and then you can give them you can sell them drugs. You can sell them drugs, and when they're too poor to afford the food, they got to steal, and then you can lock them up, and you make money off of that. You see, it's a pretty messed up system. Pretty messed up system. But that's really what it is about. And why are people willing to create a system like that? And why are they willing to benefit from it? Because they believe they have access to some special knowledge that entitles them to a higher status. They don't see themselves as part of the masses. They see themselves as better. They see themselves as better, so that entitles them to abuse and use the rest. Yeah. All right. Do we get to choose the body we incarnate in? Our family, how your life might play out, etc. before incarnating? You need a very high level of development and consciousness to be able to control that process. It is possible to do that, but most people are not able to do that for sure. Do you pay heed to the no fat movement? Is there really a spiritual benefit to not ejaculating? Yes. Not just spiritual, but also mundane. It's your creative power. So if you are able to keep that in a long time, you can sublimate that power and channel it into other things. So it's excess energy that makes you more entrepreneurial, that makes you more energized, gives you more power overall. Um, in your opinion, what separates a neophyte from an adept? What separates a neophyte? His connection to spirit, his connection to his intuition, his connection to the to the spirit world. How did Alexander the Great conquer so many empires? Do you believe his mother giving him positive affirmations of being rumored to be a witch herself helped him accomplish so much at a young age? Yeah, I do think so. Uh, hey Frank, can we feed Lord Jambala with Reiki and cold ballot offerings? Yeah, you can do that. Sure. For magic to boost sales, is it better to make your own sigil servitor for it, or use theurgy and evoke deities, angels for that purpose, or other means I haven't mentioned? I don't think you're using theurgy correctly in that context. Theurgy is not spirit contact. Okay, theurgy is um, purely self improvement or self deification. That's really what it is. Okay, so doing rituals and doing spiritual stuff in order to ascend and refine your spirit. So in that context, theurgy doesn't really make sense. But for magic to boost sales, is better to make your own sigil servitor for it. Of course, there are other means I haven't mentioned. Yeah, create your own stuff. Hey, what's up, OG of sorcery? Yeah, how's it going? Does the metaverse depress or excite you? It's all a matter of yeah, good question. Well, I guess it depends on your perspective on it. I don't believe it's something that you can stop necessarily. Um, and why would you stop that? It's just a natural progression from where we're already at, and um, I'm not afraid of it. If that's your question, I actually see a lot of possibilities in it. But that once again, that's I think that's a matter of personality. You know, there were a lot of people when the internet came along. They were, oh, this is like the end of the world. We should not do that. And a lot of people were really scared of it, and now everybody's using it. Is there anyone out there who's not always online anymore? Like I'm always online, even if I'm not using my phone. I'm online 24/7, 7 days a week. Right? Is there anyone who's not online 24/7 through the phone? Right? And there were times when everybody was like, "Oh, the internet is not that important. The internet is what is that? Sending emails." And now everybody's using it. The world would stop if the internet wasn't here. The world would stop. Same with many other things. So it's better if you're at the forefront. I mean, especially if you want to make money with it, you better find a way to get involved with it very soon. Okay, get involved with it very soon. And I'm not talking about NFTs. Not talking about NFTs. There are ways to trade NFTs and to do that, but that's not how you make real money in this thing. What you need to find is an angle where you become a household name, if that makes sense. That would be a great way to do it. Um, but generally speaking, it excites me, but that's because my brain leads with dopamine. Okay, there are two different ways. I forgot what the other chemical is, but people that are dopamine dominant are excited by new things. They can't wait for the future to arrive because so many new things are going to be here. And I'm like that. I'm excited by new things, but I'm even more excited by gene editing. Gene editing is going to change this species forever for good. And the sad thing is, at that point, it's really going to be about money. Because if you got a little bit of not a little bit, when you get the money to genetically modify your own body, to change your IQ, to change all kinds of physical characteristics, to expand your lifespan, maybe double it, triple it, or I don't know, open end, I guess. Then it's gonna be truly like we're gonna have two different species at that point. Okay. Now I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's great to have like such a big gap between people. But I'm excited about the possibilities. And I'm preparing myself. And yeah, I'm really preparing myself to take advantage of all of that. Absolutely. 100%. I got this shit planned out 100% for myself. Yeah. Uh, Metaverse is out of touch. The Shack CG was crap. Okay, guys, let me show you something, okay? Guys, all of you go through the chat, and there's a particular gentleman who has been spamming here, okay? Nah, okay, it's fine. Let's not talk about that. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Damn, there's so many comments here. Let me check. Just trying to get an overview. Are mudras and mantras a natural power that all humans can tap into? Is it magic? If so, what type of energies are being invoked? You can invoke any type of energies, many, many different types of energies with mantras and mudras. Yes, that your uh, your body's like an antenna, and we have an energy field that is permeating us and that is everywhere. And as an antenna, you can adjust yourself to different frequencies. You can receive different frequencies, and this energy field vibrates at different levels. And based on or according to what frequency it's vibrating at, it creates different manifestations, different creations. So by using a mudra, a mantra, you can change the frequency that you're vibrating at, and based on that, you will affect what comes into your life. Yeah. So yes, everybody can use that. Hey Frank, when it comes to sales, would you say buyers are created more so than influenced? What I mean by created is buyers are manifested by will and intent. Uh, it depends. Look, I mean, there are so many different ways on how you could describe that. It really depends on what level you want to look that out. At what level do you want to describe that process? I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about energy. Okay. So if I put out energy all the time that is useful and valuable to other people, the exact energy that I put out there or the effect that I created, it's not I speak, this is a certain amount of energy, and that energy is going to come back to me. That's what I'm saying. The value that I put out there, the value that I put out there is going to return to me in terms of a buyer, okay, or buyers, okay. So that's the equation. Inflow equals outflow. If I want to create inflow in terms of money, in terms of whatever, you got to create the outflow first, okay. You want to have what would be a good example? You want to get more pussy as a guy. You want to get more pussy. Well, what do you have to put out there? You have to put out things that attract pussy. You just display that in the world. You display that in the world. Stuff that attracts pussy. All right. And depending on what pussy you want, you got to display different things. If you just want hoes, just display money. Put out money, money, money. Show off money. You're gonna attract hoes. Okay. If you want other things, other types of women, um, you display other qualities. That's really what it is. You put it out into the universe, you display these characteristics, and you're going to attract that type of person. So um, it's really that simple. On the other hand, you could say there are unethical ways on how you can create buyers. Okay, you can use psychological manipulation tactics. Absolutely. One of them is reciprocity, for instance. Reciprocity. You can get people indebted. Free samples. If you put out free samples and the person accepts the free sample, they're going to feel indebted to you subconsciously, and they're much more likely to buy at that point. Okay. So, yeah, there are many, many different things. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about triggering dopamine in the person. Okay. You got to trigger dopamine. You got to keep them interested. You got to keep them coming. Um, yeah. So sales is really, yeah, manipulation. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But if you are recognized if people recognize that you want to sell them something, you're not a salesperson. You're really bad at what you're doing at that point. The person should not realize that you're selling them something. Okay? At the end of the day, a good salesperson just figures out what the person in front of them wants, and then they kind of like adjust their product so that it serves the need of the individual in front of them. For instance, whatever. What could be a product that you want to sell? A product that you want to sell is whatever. You want to sell turkey, okay? You want to sell turkey to people. Turkey, the animal, okay? Sell turkey. Bodybuilder passes by. Let's say you talk to the bodybuilder about what his needs are right now. He's like, man, I'm bulking right now, and I need lots and lots of meat, lots of clean protein. Boom, you would tell them, hey, wow, you know what? We got this turkey meat here, and you know what? Turkey is extremely clean, low fat. It's got all kinds of different amino acids, lots of tryptophan, um, and it could really help your muscle building, right? An old lady, an old lady walks by, and then you ask her, okay, well, what is your desire for the next weeks? She might tell you, well, we have Thanksgiving coming up, and I really want everybody to have a great experience when Thanksgiving comes along. And you tell her, wow, you know what? It is very well known that traditionally turkey just makes everybody feel really, really good. And as coincidence has it, we have the most delicious turkey. This turkey is actually proven to make people feel much better than any other turkey. So if you get that, I'm sure your grandkids and and everybody eating it is going to have a great experience, and they're going to love you for it, right? So that's a stupid example, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you have the same product, but you got to adjust it to the person that you're talking to, so that they feel like it serves their need right now. That's that's one of the things. What's the type of? Now I'm just gonna go on. What? Da, 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 da. How much money would someone need to start a platform? Depends on how well you are at raising capital and how much equity you want to get rid of, or rather, how much equity you want to give away. Those are the two factors. If you're good at both of these, or rather, if you're willing to give up a lot of equity and you're good at raising capital, you probably don't need any money. But then you need a good business plan. I mean, business plans are really just necessary if you have VC, venture capital. But let's see. How do you connect your sigil to an established linking sigil such as the LSLs? I don't really know what you're talking about here. Sorry. Repeat a lie often, people will believe it. I heard the Illuminati established America. Uh, Hi, sir. Does invocation exist? Dream invocation does not exist. Dream incubation. Okay. Dream incubation. If is it possible through a charged sigil? Yeah, definitely. Can negative workings be carried out hand to hand with a love spell? Oh, give me more details. I don't really know, man. OG is on point in Alabama. Over one third of the total population has been in prison. Holy shit. Don't mess with 50 and AL. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A third of the population. Holy fuck. That's so crazy. That is so crazy, man. And that's sad, man. Can you imagine how many of those people are innocent? How many of those guys had drugs planted on them or something like that? It's just disgusting, man. It's horrible. But that's slavery, man. Slavery is not abolished. Slavery still goes on. The prison system. It's still slavery. Absolutely. When you say you will be gone after this year, will there still be access to Grill of the Serpent in the Unmodded Mind? Uh, Depends, depends. I can't answer that definitively right now. Have you watched anything of David Sinclair or Andrew Huberman? If not, I recommend they are both professors. One from Harvard Science proved age is reversible at this point. Okay, thanks. Do you think it's delusional to be stuck doing shadow work for years, or is that part of that natural process, like where all you want to focus on is your shadow work for a second? Well, what is your definition of shadow work? Shadow work is a byproduct. It's not something that you do once. It's something that you do throughout your entire life, and it's a byproduct of you expanding your awareness. The more you become aware of your energy field, your energy body, the more you're going to become aware of aspects that you were not aware of. It's a form of integrating yourself, integrating the full self, and that's never going to stop. It's never going to end. Turkey increases serotonin levels to an extent. Yeah, because of the tryptophan. Absolutely. Tryptophan is the precursor. I guess we all agree we all are affected by autosuggestion 100%. Yep. They said the big thing in real estate is coming up. The big thing in real estate coming up is multifamily real estate. Yeah, but real estate is something once you got capital. Once you have capital, or you can raise capital a lot quick and easy. I think for most people, real estate is not a good investment. It's really not. If you don't have, I don't know, let's say minimum 5 million or so, real estate is not a good idea. A lot of people, they get their first 100,000 and start investing in real estate. Not a good idea. Stupid, stupid, stupid idea. You're gonna be locked in there, and if it not appreciates, if it's just a it's another um it's another chain and ball. Everybody's talking about this fucking real. Look, Akira and everybody else listening. Whenever the masses of people are talking about something, you're just not. You shouldn't look at it. That's the power law, or whatever you want to call that. The Pareto distribution. Pareto distribution. When everybody's talking about real estate, don't even look at real estate. Why? Why the fuck would I look at real estate? We got the Pareto distribution. If everybody's talking about something, it's not worth getting into. Why? Because the competition is too big. And why would I do that? Get the money magic mastery program, okay? I talk about the white ocean, I mean the blue ocean strategy. The blue ocean strategy. You go where nobody's at. The money is made before the masses, before there's a trend. You got to see and you got to recognize the trend before everybody's in there. Almost everything that you hear is incentivized information. People talk about it because they benefit from it, they profit from it. People that are pushing real estate are benefiting from investments in real estate. They're usually already in real estate and they want their own property value to go up, right? What would you do? It's the same thing. Grant Cardone is not making you rich. Grant Cardone is making himself rich. Of course he does. Of course. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Why the fuck would he do that? He wants you to invest your 5 grand in his fund. Invest with a property millionaire. Invest with Grant Cardone. It's retarded, man. You have 10 grand and you give it to Grant Cardone so that you can say I have invested with Grant Cardone. Do you see how stupid that is? That is really dumb, isn't it? Because what are you getting? A $20 check a month or something? I've invested $5,000. I don't know. You get what do you get? 5% ROI? 6, 7% ROI. Your see this number alone should tell you that real estate makes sense once you got a couple million. Okay, that's when 8% ROI is not that bad. Before that, you should make money with different things for sure. I'm definitely this old thing with buy a house and all that stuff. That's all gone, man. That's not how it works anymore. It's not how it works anymore. Um, People are genuine idiots. Well, once again, that's po- the distribution of. I don't know. Like people are genuine idiots. No, I don't know. I don't know if people are idiots. I wouldn't say that. People just don't know certain things that they're supposed to know. And who's teaching them? Who's going to teach them? The school doesn't teach them. You know, you don't know what people go through. You don't know how people grow up. Okay. Some people grow up in really, really bad circumstances. I just heard about the story about a guy. Oh man, it just, I'm not even going to talk about it. But look, some people, it's easy to look down on people. It's easy to look down on people. But sometimes you just don't know what goes on in people's lives. Okay. Some people really don't have it easy. So I don't think it's cool to look down on people. And, it's hard. Plus, no matter how smart you are, there will always be somebody who's smarter than you, no matter what level you're at. Okay. And that person could say the same thing about you. You see? So I'll be careful. I'll be careful about that. Yeah. Yeah. The bottom line is, listen, these are all just my opinions, okay? But really, I would not, why would you get into real estate for $100 check a month? Yeah. I don't think that's good. You're just making somebody else money. Do you think reincarnation has something to do with blood, like family? Once again, you gotta clarify your question, bro. I don't know how to answer that. Don't know how to answer that. Damn. I think if you can set up a proper system to wholesale houses, no strings attached, that you can raise some capital pretty quick, as long as the market in that city is booming. There's a whole lot of shit that has to go right to make that happen, okay? It could work, but that's the best case scenario. Best case scenario, really. How much experience do you have and do you have with properties, you know? Look, this is like the classic, right? It's basically wholesaling houses. So what you're basically saying is flipping, right? You want to flip the property. When does flipping a property make sense? If you are a handyman, if you yourself are in a builder, okay? If you work in that industry and you understand that stuff, then yeah, okay, then it makes sense. But if you're not in that business, you can't even evaluate that stuff. Like if you are not, if your daily trade is not about fixing houses, fixing fucking roofs, laying bricks, you don't have a clue about how houses are worked or how they're created, how they're built. And I don't think you should get into that. Why would you do that? You can't measure the you can't estimate the price of what that's going to cost. You're going to be almost 100% of the time you're going to be wrong about the costs that are involved in there in fixing it up. And even with multiple properties, how well are you connected? How well can you raise that money? At what rate can you raise it and stuff like that? So yeah, it sounds nice in theory, but have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? You know, have you ever done that? Okay, let's see. What's up with history channeling? Talking about occult and metaphysics currently. Man, I'm so tired. I can't even read this shit. Hold on. I'm sleep deprived right now. Highly sleep deprived. So I'll do my best. Can you work a love spell and a curse at the same time on a particular target? Well, the way you're phrasing it, the love spell, but the love spell is enough of a curse, I guess. At that point, seriously. All right. Why would you put a love spell and a curse on the same target at the same time? What is that? What kind of twisted stuff is that? Is that is that that is twisted for real? Come on, seriously? Okay. Do you think when we die, we go back to the source of life that connects us all? I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yes, Frank. They're starting to promote getting a FHA and getting multifamily home renting and renting it out to other people so you can get a second home, something like that. Yeah, sure. See, the thing is with real estate, also you got to be careful right now because it's in a bubble. So you're probably buying above actual value. So the next crash will be coming for sure. So you're going to lose money on your property. So if you're speculating on selling it at a higher price later, you're probably going to be wrong 100%. You look way too sleepy, bro. Too sleepy? I don't know. I don't know if it's too sleepy, but yeah, I need rest. That's for sure. Even the OG of sorcery needs some sleepy time, right? Even gangsters have to sleep. Um, okay, I'm just gonna take one or two more questions. And then, guys, I gotta urge you to be on the seminar. Okay, do whatever you can to be on the psychic protection seminar on the 27th, this Sunday. This is never going to come back. If you want to protect yourself against attacks, against somebody who wants to put a love spell on you and a curse at the same time or something like that, you better learn how to protect yourself. You better be on that seminar. Okay. Yeah. The link has just been posted in the chat. You better get on there, guys. You better get on there. Better get on there. If you're not getting on my seminars, I don't even know why you're listening to me. Seriously. I don't even know why you're listening to me. OG needs some Z's. Z's. Bro, I sleep like a boss. I sleep like a boss. But curse you to be a sex slave forever. Curse you to be a sex slave forever. Yeah. Your ritual in your last Zoom call was very easy regarding a love spell. I take that as a compliment. It was intended to be easy, and I hope you can use it as good. It works. It definitely works. Okay. Hope you got something out of this, guys. And hold on, I gotta casually turn my head. I was requested. All right. Be on the seminar, guys. You gotta be on the seminar. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.